Hello! Welcome back to British English with me, Ali. Sorry, I don't know why I felt this overwhelming desire to laugh. I have just finished making a video about random things happening in my life, and right now I'm making another video sitting on exactly the same chair with the same cup of coffee. And this is another listening, so I'm just going to talk very freely in British English, perhaps presenting some new words to you, but not intentionally, just as they come up. So this is a very casual, free style of conversation with the intent of just exposing you to English. Perhaps you can play this on your way to the office and get used to English, get your English mindset on. I just hope this helps, and as always, I would love to know your comments, your thoughts, and your future video topic suggestions in the comment section. So, ぜひコメントお願いします. Please do comment. I'm going to talk about my family's trip. I'm going to talk about some of the things that I have planned for their visit and also ask for your suggestions. Now, obviously, I've lived here for almost 7 years. Wow. And I do know Tokyo much more than I used to. However, obviously, the majority of you watching are Japanese, so you probably have a much greater understanding of things to do, things off the beaten track, exciting izakayas or other Japanese things, because ultimately my family really want to embrace Japan, and particularly the, not so touristy things. But of course, we will be doing those as well. Things that I have planned. Okay, so firstly, I'll tell you a funny story. When I first came to Japan, this was, millions of years ago, 7 years ago, I came to Japan, and 2 weeks later, my sister flew out with her family to see me. And that was really, really nice because I was still a little bit like, what have I done? Like, why did I move to Japan again? Like, what am I doing here? But anyway, so she flew out just to kind of give me some support and spend some time in my new home. And at that time, I was living in Shimokitazawa. I basically knew very, very little about Japan other than things that I'd read in a textbook. Of course, my Japanese was far from good. It was actually bad, I would say. It was far from good. Anyway, we had some time in Tokyo and we decided to go to the culture capital of Japan, which is, of course, Kyoto. So in the morning, we all met and we went down to Shibuya, and I said, well, where's the Shinkansen? And the man, someone there to help us, he said, oh, no Shinkansen. And I said, what? But this is Shibuya. He said, no, Shinagawa. And I was like, what? Like, hang on, wait. Shinjuku, Shibuya, Shinkansen, Shinagawa. This is so confusing. So that's an example of how utterly lost I was in Japan at that stage. I just knew nothing. I just thought because it sounded like Shinagawa, Shibuya, maybe they'd have Shinkansen. So yeah, I was just rubbish. So now I hope that I know enough to show them around and to show them the heart and the spirit of Japan, not just, Shibuya crossing. My sister-in-law, my brother's wife, her and I, we chat a lot, and she's extremely excited to come to Japan. And she made one request. She said, Ali, please could you book the Pokemon Cafe in Nihonbashi? And I was like, first of all, I had no idea that there was even such thing as a Pokemon Cafe. But I said, yeah, of course, no problem. This was before I realized quite how difficult / impossible it is to book a table in that cafe. Let me tell you, it's so difficult. Basically, you have to book a month in advance. And the opening for, say, for example, like today is like April 1st. For May the 1st, the opening is on April 1st at 6 p.m. And my husband and I logged in at 6 p.m. and honestly, about 60 seconds after 6 p.m., all of the availability was gone. Like, I was shocked. So obviously I was not successful in booking the Pokemon Cafe, but I will take my nephew and my niece to the Pokemon Center in Shibuya because apparently they love Pokemon. And true story, true fact about me that you may not know actually, I think I've never told anyone this on my channel, but I used to be a huge Pokemon freak. I loved Pokemon. I used to go with my cards down to these Pokemon gatherings or events. Social, well, it's not even social, it was just like a gathering. And to be honest, most of the other people there were kind of like older otaku men who would spend loads of money to get this kind of rare card. And I remember once I had a Pokemon, I can't remember the name in Japanese, but in English it's called Ditto. I'll put a picture here. Do you know Ditto? That was my favorite Pokemon. And I managed to get this card somehow. And I was like the celebrity of the Pokemon club because I had Ditto, possibly one of the first people in the UK to have Ditto. So that's my claim to fame. I'm still kind of proud about that. So yeah, it's really, really surprising that like 20 years later, if not more, my nephew and niece are really interested in Pokemon. So great. Okay. But yes, I did not know that there was even a Pokemon Center or a Pokemon Cafe. I just didn't know that. Please do share, when you were a child, what was your thing that you were into? I hear sometimes Japanese people say my boom. I would not say that that's particularly natural British English. Instead, you can just say, what were you into or what are you into? So I'm asking you, what were you into as a child? Or even you can comment on what are you into now? Right now, obviously, I am massively into doing YouTube videos, and I take so much pleasure from making these videos and sitting here talking to myself. I think, my husband is upstairs and he's probably thinking she's talking to herself again, which I fundamentally am, I suppose, but I love it. So do leave your comments. Let me know what kind of things that entertained you as a child or even nowadays. Last question. Recently, I did a collaboration with quite a famous YouTuber. You may see that on the other channel. And he was asking me about my relationship with my Japanese husband. And he asked me, does your husband play games? Like on the phone, like a kind of, I don't know, like, you know what I mean, the games. And I was kind of taken aback by that question. I thought, why? And he said, many Japanese men are addicted to playing games on their phone. And I had never realized that until he said it. And now when I'm on the train, I can see plenty of businessmen, look kind of important, wearing a suit and with a briefcase, just playing their game. And I think, we all do need that switch off time, especially when you've been so busy with work or stressed about things. We all need our little playtime, I suppose. So yeah, if you want to play a game, go for it. Do let me know if you play a game yourself. Let me know what kind of game. I probably won't know it, but I can Google it. All right. Thank you very much for watching today. Leave your questions if there was anything that you didn't understand, any kind of weird new terms or words, do let me know. And until next time, bye-bye.